Now, this I'm so excited for. I just so happened to roll a natural 20 on my luck in life. I am a proud trans veteran. Let me put my pants on my head real quick. Hello and welcome. So, today I'd like to talk to you about the third thing you can do in any given situation. We talked about the right thing and the wrong thing. Well, oftentimes you might find yourself doing this when you're not aware that you're making a decision. And that means that the third thing is doing nothing. And the issue with doing nothing is that if there is a problem, the problem will fester until eventually it boils over and you sort of have a bad reaction. And I think we all kind of have bad days. I mean, I know I'm no stranger to it. And I'm not going to act as if I'm perfect in any given situation. And so when people come in and they say things that invalidate my experience or call into question things that normally happen to, I assume, content creators, it hits me a little bit differently because I'm not a content creator. I'm just a person. I just live here. Sticky Basket is a character. And the whole idea of wokeism is a joke. Like, I think a lot of people lose sight of the fact that in this world, we experience a systemic structure. No matter how we behave, we in society have to participate in this weird give and take with everyone else. And so there's an entire group of people that are now saying we ought to hoard all the resources and not share it. And that's the idea, is like there's just one group that wants to hoard all the resources. I'm not saying anything about how those resources ought to be distributed or how people ought to be living their lives, but I will say that hoarding resources, that accumulation of capital to exert power over the world is absolutely repulsive. You're not doing it for something good when you gather it in that excess. The thing about money, in my mind, is that the only good money does is when it's spent. And I know, in the forefathers' times, keep in mind, they defined African Americans as 3/5 of a person, so maybe don't go to them for advice. But you got a penny saved is a penny earned. Okay, that's all well and good. How many pennies is a dozen eggs? How many pennies is a gallon of gas? They lived in a different time than us, and that's okay. That's okay. No one's going to Benjamin Franklin and asking him what he thinks of abortion. But I tell you what I know of his his body count, he'd be pro-abortion. I guarantee it. He'd be pro-abortion. He also loved the French. He's Benjamin Franklin. There's a reason he's on the $100 bill and not in the White House. But I wanted to share with you, when you find yourself doing nothing, the best thing to do is anything. It doesn't matter if it's the right thing or the wrong thing. As soon as you recognize that there is something wrong, doing something is step one to get out of that, what I would describe as sort of perpetual cycle of doing nothing. Because as you do nothing, imagine it being a muscle. You get better at doing nothing, and we all enjoy doing things we are good at. So if we are really good at doing nothing, we will prefer to do nothing all the time. And doing nothing is comfortable. I had a distance running coach when I was in high school who taught me that when you're running a 4-lap mile, what you have to do is you have to constantly be accelerating. Every time you run a lap, you don't want to keep the same speed. You want to feel as if you're accelerating. Your body is going to absolutely scream at you when you're doing that because it feels awful to try and run faster after a lap. But the thing is if you don't try to run faster, you're gonna slow down. Your body seeks comfort. And that comfort found in doing nothing, idle hands are the devil's plaything. And I'm not a religious person, but that saying has a lot of wisdom to it, because if you're not doing anything, then people on YouTube are going to be telling you what to think, or they're going to be selling you something. Or, I mean, we live in a world where we're constantly given this idea of what we're supposed to look like, and no one even considers that if anyone actually had catgirl ears, they wouldn't wear glasses in the same way I wear mine, because the glasses are supposed to hang off of the top of the ear and then go over the eyes. But if you're wearing ears on the top, you'd have to have some sort of like necklace that hangs them over your eyes, or like a monocle or something. But you don't see that accounted for in anime. Instead, they just don't give cat girls glasses. And I think a lot of what's wrong in the world can be summed up in that. As a trans woman, I would like to say, anyone who invalidates that experience of mine, we're long enough in, go fuck yourself. If you think I went through anything with the Navy and it was all just so I could tell some stories on YouTube for some clout, I swear to God, go fuck yourself. Get the fuck out of here. I'm not joking about who I am. The ears are a little bit of a joke. My degradation kink, I mean, we don't need to talk about that, but I like to get down and dirty in the comment section. Don't judge me. You don't get, if you're on my side, if you're a supporter of me, you don't get to judge how I behave in the comment section, because look how they behave. Look how they behave. And now all of a sudden I'm the bad guy because I have a degradation kink? This is bullshit. We're supposed to be in hot girl summer. Anyway, this wasn't supposed to be a video about what I like doing in my free time. What I wanted to say is, we are allowed to look however we want. We are allowed to love ourselves as we are. We don't need to change to become something that the world sees us as. And it's when the world tries to impose its ways on us that we should stick most true to what we feel is our true essence. No matter what I do on YouTube, people will come into my comment section and hate me. If I were to go voiceless, or camless, never show my face, whatever that one is, and then do commentary dubs over gameplay footage where you only get my pretty monotonous voice. It's not always monotonous, but I'm aware that I have a flat timbre about my voice. I'm allowed to remove it as well, but I don't speak like this in my normal day-to-day life. The thing about it is that when I speak, I'm just talking. I'm not putting any additional effort into it. I'm just trying to do the bare minimum to communicate my ideas and get along in this society that I am forced to participate in. And I don't mind being a participant. Again, I say forced because it's not as if I have a choice. But going to work, I love what I do. And going to school, I love learning about the world. I love reading. I love all sorts of things. But so many people will look at me and think, damn, Chloe, you're really hot. Damn, Chloe, you got a nice ass. And they never think about, like, what are you thinking, Chloe? And so YouTube was supposed to be the place I could just kind of broadcast myself. And I appreciate that everyone wants to come in and talk about my hairline. I can wear a wig. You can't fix your bad personality. I'm sorry, but like when you come in and show your colors, like, oh man, Chloe, you look like this. I know what I look like. I have a mirror. Like, but you're not fooling me. Oh, you have mental illness, Chloe. I know. I remember. I was in the Navy. Yeah. But like, those people don't reflect. And so I like to try and overcome my avoidant confrontation style and just kind of express myself to people who, if I met them anywhere else in my life rather than in my YouTube comment section, they would be polite to me. Because I'm a good person, and I'm not actually saying that to convince you. I'm saying that because the way people have this image about me and come at me, oh, don't go after the kids. I don't, what? Oh, keep it away from the vulnerable. Bitch, I am the vulnerable. Like, I'm the trans person here. Like, does a Christian family kick a teenage trans kid out and everyone goes, oh, that family is really being oppressed by that damn trans kid. And no one looks at the trans kid starving on the street and goes, oh, wow, hey, maybe that religion isn't all about being good to your neighbor because they can't even take care of their own family. Like, and I don't mean to critique beliefs or anything, but what are we doing in politics with our belief systems? Because bad people have a lot of I think I swore too much this episode. I'm sorry. But I just want to say, live your life, be you, and I'm happy to have you here. If I can entertain you, then I'm super happy to have you here. That's why I'm making these videos. And if you get angry at me, I'm still happy to have you here, because especially if you reach this point and you hate me, holy cannoli, thanks for trying to get to know me. I really appreciate that. I don't actually give you that much benefit of the doubt when I'm retorting any of your arguments. I just kind of, okay, let me blank what they said and go at it. And I hope anyone hanging out maybe try and express yourself and how you feel. You don't have to do it in a YouTube comment section, but maybe write in a journal or keep track of your own emotional well-being. I think it's important, especially with how big everything is going, to keep in mind that there are two distinct worlds. There's the abstract and the concrete. The one that we have control over, which is our concrete reality, the one we go about in our day-to-day. For me, that's work, school, Dark Souls. And then there's the abstract. That's where we've been and the people we know and sort of the things going on around us that we don't necessarily have control over. They just kind of happen, and they'll happen even if we're sick tomorrow, because at the end of the day, we're just a person. But let's keep that in mind. We're all just here trying to get by. What I'm trying to say is thank you so much for being here. Thank you for your support. I love you so much. I'll see you Friday for the Dark Souls announcement, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye. Someone who came out as trans after receiving the COVID vaccine and was removed from the military as a result, I believe the rights I stood up to defend are worth defending. Each new mountain is a new opportunity to grow. Thanks a lot, bud. Now I have to spoil it. No longer am I a proud American, so I'm a little bit of a fun person to be around, being something more than an animal whose intelligence is limited by circumstances of birth. There are some things I have to do for my safety. Miss me with your gay shit, Mr. Trump.